You bring out the worst in me. With you I know I'll never achieve anything. You're a curse and I'm doomed for eternity. I just can't get enough of your insanity. I always knew we were meant to be.
Okay, so everyone, this is Aaron von Lupton from RUE MORGUE magazine, and this is another Zoom Listen to My Nightmare. And we have our very coolest guest ever. Of course, we got Wednesday 13. He is back with a new album, Mid-Death Crisis. I love that title. How long did that take you to come up with there, Wednesday?
Not very long. It was actually my drummer just passing by in the dressing room, hearing me complain about getting old and a list of things and blah blah blah. And he just kind of walks through the room and he went, "Sounds like you're going through a mid-death crisis," and just kind of walked off. And I went, "That's a great song title, maybe an album title." And wrote the mental note down, and it just was on the list, and it was just too funny of a title not to use, and it fits perfectly where I am in my life. You know, I'm 48 years old. I'll be 49 in August. I'll be 50 next year. You know, and I'm just like, wow, this is the mid-death crisis. So the album cover and everything is like a reflection of me if I was 190 years old, which is what I feel like sometimes. And this is me, this is a Frankenstein version of me, just still trying to get myself ready for the show.
I hate it though, Wednesday. You don't look like you're 48 and you're 1 year older than I. Oh, wait a minute. You're turning 49 this year. I'm turning 48 this year, but you look very young.
Okay,
And
thank you.
it's got to be all those toys in the background. You
It
definitely look
is.
younger than I am, man.
It is. People want to know, like, how do you look young? How do you keep your youthfulness? This is my fountain of youth. I mean, this is when I was a kid, there was nothing bigger, better than coming home from school and watching He-Man or G.I. Joe. I lived in that world. I was, G.I. Joe probably a little more than He-Man, just because I don't know, I was just obsessed with those figures. I knew everything about them. I read their file cards. I knew everything.
Yeah.
It was like it was such a big deal, and that led right into rock and roll, and but I never stopped liking this stuff, and I've just been a collector my whole life, and I'm still doing it.
You're right. I love the artwork for that, by the way. That is a
Thank you,
very
thank
cool
you, thank
album
you.
cover.
Yes, excellent stuff. I have my advanced copy here, and dude, it's great. It looks like something I would have seen in the video store, and I would have put it on the bottom of the stacks. My parents wouldn't see it, be like, "Oh, we're just squeeze this in with Turner and Hooch for the weekend." Yeah. But no, man, it's real artwork, no AI,
Yeah.
full on packaging on this thing, and it's great. I'm really proud of it.
It looks like it keeps looking to me, it keeps looking like a mad ball to me. Remember the mad
It
balls?
does. It kind of looks like a mad ball.
So you're still, so is like action figures your thing? Like, is that your number one kind of, because everyone's got something that they obsess over. Obviously, mine's records, but
Right.
as far as action
Yeah,
figures.
that's an amazing collection, by the way. That's a lot of stuff. That looks great.
Hey, you know what I got right here?
What's that?
Da, da, da.
Oh, that's
Believe it
where
or
it all.
not, this was
That's where
actually, I don't know, I think this was one of the first records I ever bought. That's the Frankenstein
crazy. Yeah.
Drag Queens from Planet 13. And
Wow. Yeah.
that was my introduction to Wednesday 13. That was your first, well, I
Great.
guess not your first band, but it's
Yeah, but no, that was like 1998 that recording.
as
Yeah.
I was getting ready for this, I completely forgot that the Murderdolls had anything to do with what was his name, Jordy Jordison from Slipknot. To me, it was a Wednesday 13 band, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why this was so popular because there was an attachment to Slipknot. Slipknot was huge at that time. You were sort of an addition to that band after the fact. It was sort of his band originally, right?
I was doing Frankenstein drag queens. Joey Jordison had a band called The Rejects in Iowa. When we got together, he took a lot of my songs and we brought them into Murderdolls. There were a handful of his reject songs that went into it. It was more so my stuff than his. And he came in, rearranged some stuff, produced it. We were a unit, and that was Murderdolls. That band changed my life. It's the reason I'm still here, probably talking to you. I'm able to do this. He opened the door for me. I mean, it's so sad that he passed so early. He introduced me to the world.
You are doing a Murder Doll set, aren't you, with this
Yeah,
tour?
yeah. I'm doing like a kind of a best of like those songs are so short we can play like 10 songs like that. So there's a little mini set in our show. But leading up to recording the record, I did basically a year and a half of only Murder Dolls songs live, and we took that all over the world. It was a really good reminder that what I've done has been worthwhile, and it was a reminder that the music is timeless. For a lot of people, when we would go into that very first song on the first Murder Doll, Slit My Wrist, when that we would play that intro, and when it would start, it was just you could just feel this energy in the crowd. They just heard that and went, you're like, uh-oh. And when that song would kick in, sometimes it felt like the venue was going to collapse.
With the theme of the album, there was a bit of a satanic panic thing going on, was there not?
Yeah, well, definitely the single Devil Commands is specifically toward that satanic panic thing. But I think overall, I've always kept that in the back of my mind because I went through it. I was an 80s kid. My parents were my mom, not my mom was always going, she's watching all the religious shows on Sunday. I was in North Carolina in the Bible Belt, and they had your local TV shows and then you had your mainstream ones, but she watched the local ones that were, you got to go into your children's bedroom. If there is a star on their notebooks, they are possessed. And my mom goes in my notebook and she finds a pentagram because I've got one. I didn't know what it meant. I just saw a kid draw it in class and I copied him, but it was there and there was evidence it was done. She thought I was going to be possessed by rock music. And I wasn't even listening to this bad stuff. I was listening to glam rock. I didn't have Slayer. I didn't have that stuff yet. But that was a real deal. So when I wrote the first song, Devil Commands, and the lyrics of that is like ode to my mom. If I could go back in time and just take this cassette, if it was a cassette, and put it into my collection and just literally set it up for her, almost like with this like read me. And she would open it up and just like if those lyrics could read out to her. Like I really wrote it out kind of just simple, just what the lyrics are, where she would be horrified, not like thinking, oh, I wonder if this is no, this is like all in the name of blasphemy. When the devil speaks, he speaks to me.
All in the name of the evil one, the great deceiver, the blackest sun, the serpent's path. Now it leads the way. Now bow our heads and let us pray. The devil made me do it, I'll do it again. And hell awaits for you, my friend. The devil made me do it, I'll do it again. Forgive me, Father, now I am sin.
You are coming to Toronto, and once again, I'm not going to get to see you. I'm like, I go to 50% of everything because I've got a 6-year-old son. So
I get it. I get
one,
it.
I'm gonna see you. I know eventually I'm gonna see you. Everything you do is good, man. Murder Dolls. I was a fan of Murder Dolls, man. I thought that the Frankenstein drag queens were awesome. I thought that there was an awesome continuum with the Murder Dolls. I'm still a fan of Wednesday 13 and everything like that. So I wish you all the best, man. Yes.
Thank you, man. Thank you for chatting, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you when you get a babysitter.
This has been Aaron von Lupton on Listen to My Nightmare. This has been Wednesday 13, and we will see you on the next episode I think you're gonna like it.
The devil made me do it, I'll do it again. In hell I'll wait for you, my friend. The devil made me do